Happy Thursday. Thursday is a Jupiter day. Jupiter is the ruler of our luck, our fortune, and our expansion. So happy Jupiter day. How are you expanding? How is your fortune? How is your abundance, right? And so my ascended masters that showed up today are Melchizedek. And he tends to show up for me a lot. If you remember the other day, he showed up. So when they repeatedly show up, that's when I look into them further and say, okay, maybe what does he represent? And he actually represents the leader of a band of priests, light bringers, to help the entire consciousness ascend. And so that is okay, but he works specifically through sacred geometry of star shapes. So I will be looking further into those. So you see the 8-pointed star. So I will be actually looking into that. And so when you're pulling cards and they repeatedly show up, don't just assume that you know what you know. If it's continually showing up, dig deeper. And so passion showed up today. Passion talks about following that which excites you. It's not just intimate passion and sexuality. Passion is, what is your drive? And it literally says, it's Archangel Haniel, by the way, which is also the same archangel for the moon cycles that keeps showing up for me. But she's saying, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life or career. And so I will be also connecting with Haniel. And this Siddhartha Gautama Buddha showed up again. And so this card always says to meditate daily, and I do that. So I had to look deeper in this one as well. And he talks about creating a shift in the consciousness. And so I know now, like, the combination of these two ascended masters together is huge for my life path and purpose. And so that's the angle that I'm going to be going at in my evening meditation tonight. And so Ganesha showed up. Ganesha is the obstacle remover. So anything that's in my path that is preventing the highest good and abundance is removed by Ganesha. But Ganesha is also a protector. And I have lots of protection messages in my spread today too. So I will also be doing a cleanse later this afternoon. And so the Virgo moon, you are good enough, this shows up for me a lot, and my moon is actually in Virgo. And so, and this tends to be a theme for me, even in this human experience, like not slipping into self-doubt. And that is not feeling that I'm enough. And then the Hiraeth, it's a homesickness for a place that I'm not even sure I know of or its existence, but it's a deep longing. And this is the energy of very old souls, that we tend to not feel connected to earth or even the human experience. So this card is just telling me, I know you feel this kind of way, but just surrender and things will get easier. So it's kind of like a calm the fuck down, Sherry. I know you hate being human, but you chose it. So it's like, whatever. Anyhow. The Pentagon showed up today, my sacred geometry, and the Pentagon is protection, and it says that I am under imminent threat, and if it's not a physical threat, to take care of it. If it's and I already know what it is, it's a spiritual threat, and that's the cleanse that I'll be doing. So I believe that's also why Ganesha showed up, to protect myself, to cleanse my energy of the experience that I shared on Monday of having someone show up in my sacred space, but their intentions were not of the highest good. So I will be cleansing that again, because obviously it's necessary. And community showed up. Community shows up because community is asking you about feeling like you belong, or are you feeling seen and heard? And so this is difficult for someone like me, because there's no one like me. And even the closest friends that I have, they don't really have the same experiences that I have, or even see the world the way I do. But I choose those closer friendships because they don't judge me in that. And I do know what I know, and I experience what I know, and they trust that. And they respect it. So community is about saying the things that no one else is saying, and still being able to feel like you belong. And so drawing in those types of relationships. But it also says that no matter where I'm at, I am needed. And it talks about my work is to do that, to be saying the things that no one else is saying, but to draw in that energy, to magnetize the energy of what I represent. So, okay, doing it. Zinc site, which I do not own, but isn't that pretty? I do not own one. But this is about creating through passion. And Haniel showed up, passion. So it talks about creative works through passion is how you deeply commune with self. So meditation is a way that you commune with self, but also honoring your creativity is a way that we honor self. And then the Life Beyond Death card showed up. And I love this card because this talks about knowing that I am an old soul. And it says, you are very aware of having endings and beginnings, but I am now coming into a new beginning in this life. And as an old soul, I have more of a realization of oneness than younger souls. And so it may be harder for people to relate to me because I can see all perspectives and also see everything as unity consciousness. I'm no longer, well, I don't think Sherry has ever been in that duality consciousness. And so it is harder for me. It's harder to say things that people can relate to. But it's saying that I'm moving into a newness where I won't even question myself. That's huge for me because the whole like moon card that showed up, that I am enough, I do tend to slip into self-doubt because people aren't saying the things that I'm saying. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say this, or okay, but my intent is always heart-centered. I'm always in my integrity, and I'm not there in some egoic way expressing myself. So I am good enough. And that I am actually coming into the newness that says, and I underlined, I won't ever question my worthiness, and therefore I will trust more easily and more fully, no matter how much it asks of me. And the divine is a relentless lover of me. And so I love that because that's been coming up for me very much recently in even my closest relationships and friendships, where they're testing me. Are you sure? How do you know that? Why are you even saying that? Where'd you get that information? And I'm having to really stand firm in my ground and say, I know what the fuck I know. And you may not know it, and you may never even read that in a book, but I know what the fuck I know. And so that is hard to express because then people, you're at great risk for someone saying she's nuts. But if they go away, that's actually better for me. It's actually better because then I'm clearing space for those who are willing to listen and actually open their perspective and their hearts. So that is the spread for today. And I want to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stephanie Ramirez. Happy birthday to you. I love you. And thank you all that are here watching, sharing your most valuable commodity with me, your time and your energy. And I am sorry for any misalignment that I myself have caused. Please forgive me. And thank you for this opportunity. I love you. I love you.